Oh, well, that wasn't great, to say the least. Good morning. Happy Monday. Oh, boy. Well, on a day where the Orioles end their season and Baltimore fans are ready to move on, think about something else. Uh, kind of want to think about the Orioles offseason at this point because I'm not sure exactly what the heck happened yesterday. I watched the game. I listened to lots of people after the game. I thought about it. I woke up this morning, thought about it some more, and I just feel like I'm stuck on the Lamar piece. I might go through a whole bunch of different things, but I feel like the karma now for the Ravens is at a point where they can't win the Super Bowl when you quit. Quitting is a huge accusation. Quitting is like the one thing you don't want to hear, whether you're an athlete or any person in general. Like being a quitter is the worst thing you can be as a quitter. I don't know. I don't know how else you want to categorize what happened yesterday. It's a hamstring injury. It looked like he didn't even go into the tent, which I'm not sure what to make of that. And then you got pictures that you see where it doesn't look like whatever ice pack or whatever's on him is even on the hamstring. And then you think about when he went off the field, you didn't see any signs. And Lamar Jackson is arguably the best player I've ever seen play football at his peak. Just unbelievable talent. And I didn't even think he was bad yesterday. We'll get to exactly what he did wrong. But, in all things considered, I just don't quite think you can recover when you quit. When you just are like, I don't want to play anymore. Things aren't going well. It was 27-13. It was 27-10. Lamar got sacked on whatever it was, 3rd and 2. Just frustrated. Wasn't a great decision by him. Maybe we should have ran the ball, whatever. He gets sacked. Now we're going to kick a field goal. So it's 27-13. Chiefs go down and get a field goal. It's 30-13, and that's the end of Lamar. You listen to the broadcast. No one knows what's going on. Harbaugh doesn't say anything. That's just so strange. And when you try to figure out how you recover, because you're 1-3, you're moving forward, things happen. Every team goes through crap. It wasn't a death sentence to get blown out yesterday. It's not even a death sentence to have all these injuries on defense. But when you quit, when you're like, I just don't want to play anymore, I really hope Lamar doesn't play this week. I hope I'm just wrong, and maybe whatever the situation is, he didn't need immediate medical attention, and he's out for 5 weeks. That would make me feel better than all of a sudden he's ready to go this weekend. You just can't recover from that. Not when you have everybody's trying to win the Super Bowl, all these different teams, and when you quit, your karma I don't know how you recover from that. So that's where I start is if he really quit on the team, that's the most important thing. I know it might not be the most popular thing to talk about, but that's just where we're at. If you're not going to go out and finish the game, where does that leave the rest of the team? It's just, woo, boy. All right, how did Lamar play? So the game malfunctions, and this has been the same thing for the Ravens. As soon as one thing goes wrong, it feels like 30,000 things go wrong. And yesterday, what went wrong was Roger Rosengarten was lined up illegally for an illegal formation, and after that, everything just fell off. So the Ravens are up 7-0. Everything looks great. Perfect drive. Lamar's perfect. You feel great. And then on the flip side, the Chiefs struggle. Mahomes is, throwing a couple passes just behind his guy. Chiefs have to settle for field goal. So all of a sudden, 7-3? You're feeling great. Lamar hits, was it Hopkins? I think for a great pass on the side. Whatever it was, I think it was Hopkins. Great catch. But Rosengarten lines up in a legal formation. On the very next play, Lamar scrambles and makes, the critical error. The linebacker for the Chiefs makes a great interception as he tries to throw the ball to Andrews. And just after that, it felt like one thing after another, and we could never gather ourselves. It wasn't a great sign when Lamar threw that pick. Remember, it's 7-3 at that point. He throws the pick and just throws the helmet. He's just extremely frustrated. He gets the fumble later in the game. We go for it on 4th and 1 on their 41. Henry's not on the field. We throw the ball. We have no chance to make a play. A lot of bad things, but it's also September, and those things are all fixable because when the Ravens are rolling, they can win the Super Bowl. And that's what you're looking for when you're trying to figure out if your team can actually win the Super Bowl. Are the highest of highs good enough, even if the lows, you're going to take the lows. It's just going to happen. You want to win the games, but my takeaway is being 1-3 isn't the death sentence. It's the fact that how we went out, and Lamar doesn't finish the game. The injuries on defense, I don't even know where to start with that. We'll see who's really hurt and who just couldn't finish the game. But they're going to play the Texans this Sunday. It's the worst time to play the Texans. They're going to have a bye after they play us. So they're going to be able to sell out, go all out with looking forward to a bye. Their defense obviously played great yesterday as they get the shutout against the woeful Titans. But they respond better after they released Gardner Johnson. Stroud was good yesterday. Texans defense is really good. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to the Ravens. The hardball piece, and I'll go through the rest of the games, but the hardball piece, it's just time for the change. It's not even whether it's his fault or not. It almost doesn't matter. He just reached a point where this is the last year. Now that things have hit rock bottom, maybe it's similar to, you got to remember when the Ravens did win the Super Bowl, they had the Mile High Miracle over the Broncos, but you got to remember it was week 14 or 15. The Broncos came here and destroyed us. Cam Cameron got fired. Maybe it was week 12, 13, whatever it was. Then Caldwell became the offensive coordinator. It was a spark. At that point, you felt like maybe the Ravens were going to need a change, and Harbaugh made the change at offensive coordinator, and he rode that Super Bowl for about 7 years, and now he's been riding Lamar for the better half of 6 years. So at this point, it has turned into you gotta make a deep run here in the playoffs, or Harbaugh's got to go because the energy's bad, the vibes are bad, the sentiment's bad, and it hasn't been like this in a minute. It was teetering on this when we weren't going to pay Lamar and the contract was up in the air. The past few years, man, this is the worst loss we've had since 2021. I think it was week 10 of 2021. Not great, and who knows? We got to see what happens this week as far as the conversations and where we get to on Sunday. Talk about the Ravens more in a few days, but my main take is it's on Lamar. If you quit, then you're going to lose a lot of fans, especially Baltimore fans. Like that's just, we're not going to tolerate that. It'd be nice if Derrick Henry would run a little harder when he's in the hole. It feels like he's not powering through for an extra couple of yards. Maybe we need Keaton Mitchell in there. Last time I saw Keaton Mitchell, he's running past everybody. Harbaugh's excuse was everybody's going to know our plays if Keaton Mitchell's in the game. What kind of nonsense is that? If they know our plays, then can't we run some counters off of it? Very disappointing right now with the Ravens. 1-3. All right, the rest of the games. Stupid Squealers win again. They're 3-1. I said it yesterday. You can't bet Carson Wentz. Yeah, the game went over accidentally at the very end. Just a weird game. It happens when you're playing overseas. Rodgers and the Steelers are 3-1. So you got to stack the games early. What can you say? Minnesota, McCarthy will be the answer, not Carson Wentz. I think that's safe to say. The Eagles tried to lose yesterday, tried to give the game away. They got really hot down there in Tampa, and they almost let the Bucs pull off the fourth straight comeback. Baker was great, but made the critical error at the end of the game. And when you're trying to separate who's the best quarterbacks in the NFL, I think that's one of those situations that Baker's actually going to benefit from later in the season because you just can't do that. They were down 8, about 4 minutes or so left in the game, and he's driving, and he just first and goal, I believe, and just it wasn't there. Instead of throwing it away, throws the interception. Bucs lose, Eagles win. Best game the Eagles have had. I guess all season. They're 4-0. They get the block punt. Barkley looked good. Hurts looked good. A.J. Brown doesn't get the ball. He was complaining. All right, I lose these two games. I'm telling you, first, this Panthers game, go look at the box score, and you would think the Panthers won the game. I don't know how. Well, I know how they lost the game because they can't convert on fourth down. They kept crossing midfield, and then that wasn't working. The best bet of the day yesterday was to take the Patriots live once the Panthers went down the field and scored a touchdown to start the game because after that, the game was over. Patriots just absolutely steamroll them. They get a punt return where the Panthers decided not to tackle them, which was great. I really would bet the Panthers again. That's the sickest part, the 42-13. But I'm telling you, look at the box. It's just the Panthers cannot play situational football very well. I guess they're not a good team. I still wouldn't bet against them, though, especially when it's a big spread in certain spots. Yeah, Patriots, I don't think they're a very good team, but I actually like them next week. It's a good spot for them against the Bills. Yeah. So Patriots win 42-13. I lose that game. I lose the Commanders Falcons game. Falcons. The Penix was great yesterday, and the Commanders just couldn't get him off the field. So the Commanders' offense was good enough that I thought they were just going to come back and eventually the Falcons were going to falcon it up, but they didn't. Penix was too good, so I lost that game. And when I think about it, I don't know. I guess I was, yeah, betting against the Falcons. I was pretty much fading them no matter what, especially what they did against the Panthers, and maybe that was a mistake. Clearly it was. Texans destroy the Titans. My gut told me to just take the Texans because the Titans are dumpster fire. But after last week, I know if the Texans would even get 7 points, Texans still suck on offense. I mean, the stats were good for Stroud, but they only had 12 points halfway through the fourth quarter. Then they get the interception. Stingley's great. And then they convert to go up 19. Eventually it's 26. That's who the Ravens are playing next week. Defense looks great. Saints cover. Saints cover easily against Buffalo. Saints were kind of hanging around, making it interesting. Buffalo is just going along 4-0. They're going to get the Patriots next week. You would think they go 5-0. It is a tricky spot. It's a divisional game. And the Patriots obviously feel good after yesterday. But Buffalo just keeps rolling. Allen looks like he care less about the MVP based on the numbers. And the Bills probably are the prime candidate to add somebody on defense, another playmaker to complement the offense. If they're going to make a Super Bowl push, feels like they have too many holes on defense. If they're really going to get over the hump, I'd be interested over the next month if they add somebody. The Lions pretty much played the same way the Bills did yesterday. They get the win. This time they cover. The Flacco experience is over. Hard to watch. Of course, the Browns go up 7-0, but the Lions just, yeah, the Lions are ready to go. You look at the Lions, you look at what happened week one. It's apparently the case of you can't overreact to week one, right? Lions come out, they look awful. Packers beat them up. You think maybe they missed the offensive coordinator. Now the Lions look like the same team that they've been for the past couple of years. They're just rolling along. If they get rolling on offense, you don't know how to stop them. They destroy the Browns. I went in this game by accident. This Colts team is going to, excuse me, the Rams beat the Colts 27-20. The Colts are down, I think it was 17-13, at some point 13-10. They get a huge play to Adonai Mitchell, and he's going to score. And he does I don't know how many times we have to watch this, how many times it has to happen, but he's about to score a touchdown easily, reaches the ball across to somewhat celebrate. Ball fumbles out of the end zone. Rams get a bomb of a touchdown later in the fourth quarter to cover the spread and win the game. Back-breaking loss for the Colts because the Colts now, that was a game that they played better than I thought they were going to play. They could have been 4-0. They're going to have that's just a really tough loss. It'll be interesting to see if they bounce back next week. Rams win a game that they're going to make the playoffs in a competitive, National Football League. You got to win some games that maybe you're not supposed to. This Puka Nacua guy, I don't wear jerseys anymore, but if I had to buy a jersey, I'd buy his. He is just an absolute baller. Rams win. Jaguars win a game where I think they're going to tease you and not make the playoffs and win 6 or 7 games because I just don't trust them. Brock Purdy was about to win the game, and then Brock Purdy did Brock Purdy things, throws interceptions and fumbles in the worst times. It just feels like Purdy is missing a step there. They paid him. The Niners lose a game that they couldn't afford to lose. The Niners, I'm telling you, look back on the season, and this is a game that the Niners had to win. The Jaguars aren't that great of a team. They got a big play out of ETN. I'm fading the Jags down the stretch as the season goes on, and I'm probably fading the Niners. I just didn't like Brock down there, not having the pocket awareness. They should have won the game. They lose 26-21. Jaguars are feeling good. 3-1, should be 4-0. Bears Raiders basically was exactly the way the game, the lines makers, and pretty much if you were analyzing the game, you landed on like 2 not great teams, 2 pretty even teams. The game's in Vegas, so that balances out the spread and plays out that way as the Bears are winning by 1 and the Raiders have a chance to make the field goal. They can't do it. Bears win. I'm pretty impressed with Caleb Williams with a couple throws he made. And the more you think about it, this Raiders team is like I'm telling you, stay away from them. It's not their year. They lose a game where, man, if they were going to make a run, you couldn't lose that game. The Bears, I still not betting the Bears, especially if they're a favorite. But Caleb is getting better, and the talent's there. The discipline is the question. And last night, if you stayed up, that was unbelievable. 40-40, Cowboys Packers. The number one takeaway from that game is how's the Cowboys score guy not let the clock run out to zero and make the referees review it? Instead, he leaves a second on the clock if you didn't see it. The Packers, first of all, you can't bet on the Packers right this second because they can't. I'm not sure what the hell is going on with the defense, but then the clock management was so bad that just makes you got to stay away from a team and feel like something deeper is going on because the clock's running out. And Jordan Love, you got to just take the tie at this point. Or if you're going to try to throw the ball in the end zone as you're down 40-37, it's overtime, the clock's running down. You got to be quicker. You got to do something. Like either it's got to be an efficient, quick something to give yourself a chance to have a touchdown to win the game, or at that point you have to submit to the tie and just get rid of the ball with enough time to make sure the kicker can get out there. Instead, there's a dangerous pass, and the clock really could have ran out. Instead, there's a second left. Packers end up getting the tie. Cowboys felt like they won the Super Bowl yesterday. What a weird game. This Micah Parsons things. Am I the only one that thinks this is just like manufactured content that's like not relevant? He's not that great. Like, first of all, there's about 5-10 pass rushers that are probably better than him. And, man, he just dominates every single topic. I don't think it was that big of a deal that he was traded. And clearly, the Packers are not over the top because of him, and the Cowboys are still the same Cowboys. What a terrible defensive performance yesterday for both teams. That game ends up in a tie, 40-40. Tonight we get treated with two games. I don't know why they keep doing it, but thank God they do it tonight because who's watching the first game? Dolphins, Jets. My takeaway from that game is I need some time. I have no idea. My brain is too filled with other things. I haven't even thought about Dolphins, Jets, so I'll see where I'm at later today. But I am all over the Bengals. There's no way, no how that I'm not taking the Bengals tonight, plus 7.5. If I'm falling into the trap of the 7.5, then so be it. I think the Bengals are going to win the game. That's my take. I think the Bengals win this game outright. I don't think the Broncos are good. I think the way they lost last week was atrocious. The way they lost to the Colts last week was atrocious. They're not playing good situational football. This game was really close last year, and the Bengals, I believe, beat them at the end of the season. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The Broncos defense isn't as good as we thought it was going to be. Something's missing there. Bo Nix is not that great. I expect some turnovers. Obviously, Burr's not playing. That's why it's 7.5. The Bengals got blown out last week because they kept turning the ball over. Trust me, that was just one of those things where the game got away from them. The game was in Minnesota. I expect the Bengals to play this game pretty efficiently, and I expect the Broncos to screw it up. Definitely give me the 7.5 points. Have a good day. If you're a Ravens fan, I don't know what to tell you. Think about something else. It can't be the Orioles. Maryland basketball, we're going to be really good this year. So Maryland basketball, that's where we're going. Buzz Williams got the team turned around down there in Maryland. That's at least a coach and a program that I think we're going to be able to get behind. Orioles recap coming at a time where I can spin into a positive because if you look at the statistics, I'm not sure exactly where we're going for positivity. But, they're easy to root for. They seem like nice guys for whatever the hell that's worth. The baseball playoffs, actually, before I go, baseball playoffs are going to be really good. They're going to start on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, but it worked out perfectly. You get the Red Sox and the Yankees, and the winner gets the Blue Jays. So the American League East gets settled that way. And then the Tigers and the Guardians get to play in the wild card with the winner getting the Mariners. So that's fun if you're into baseball because the Tigers and the Guardians are going to rematch after they just had a series a few days ago. And the NL, the Dodgers are going to play the Reds, which feels like be careful because no one wants to take the Reds, but the Reds are in a good mood. They got nothing to lose. That's usually the spot. They're going to play the Dodgers and the Padres and the Cubs. That's a great matchup. The winner of that gets the Brewers. That would be my pick to win the NL, the winner of the Padres and the Cubs. They get the momentum. They beat the Brewers team, who unfortunately has to sit still. Bats come out flat. And the Dodgers would then play the Phillies, and maybe the Phillies get over the hump. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'll be here Thursday. Oh boy, All right, time to think about something else besides Lamar and the Ravens. But if you're going to dive into it, please let me know. If he's not quitting, I feel bad going in on him about it. Like I said, I'd rather him be out for a month. But if he's playing this week, it makes me feel a little sideways. They didn't finish the game. Well, not a little sideways, a lot sideways. All right, see you guys. Have a good day.